Welcome and thank you for joining us for our second half hour of The Factor Uncensored. Now, when it comes to protests, is there a right and a wrong time to generate attention? Monday, President Biden was giving a speech recognizing 9 victims shot and killed by a white supremacist in 2015. The moment was interrupted by protesters calling for a ceasefire in Gaza.
I understand their passion, and I've been quietly working with the Israeli government to get them to reduce and significantly get out of Gaza.
This isn't the only time pro-Palestinian protesters have caused disruptions. My next guests share their thoughts about it. Our guests are here on The Factor Uncensored talking about protesters and have some of them gone too far hurting their cause by interfering in church services and impeding traffic in New York City. We have with us State Representative Ron Reynolds and State Representative Jolanda Jones, and both of you have been on both sides of the fence as lawmakers, and you guys have also protested. But when you see these pro-Palestinian protesters interfering in a church service in Charleston and blocking traffic, which really pissed off this guy who says he's trying to get to his daughter, trying to get to work. When you see them interfering with daily people's lives, what do you think the impact will be? Does it hurt their cause? Does it help their cause? Does it bring it more attention? Go ahead, Representative Jones.
So you know what? So last night I was at the wake of Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson at Concord Church in Dallas. And believe it or not, a pro-Palestinian protester was arrested. I don't think anybody paid attention to it. I mean, I think people were more upset with the traffic that was stopped when President Biden was there, which, by the way, I was there. But so I just haven't heard people talking about it for me to believe that it's hurting their cause or helping their cause one way or the other.
Representative Reynolds, let's hear from you on this topic.
Probably not going to find 2 more lawmakers that are protesting than Jolanda and I on the front lines, grassroots, willing to take it to the streets. I think there's a time and a place for everything. I'm sympathetic to the pro-Palestinian cause of action demanding a ceasefire, but I do think that it is ill-advised to do it in the church where they were there for a different purpose. Like if they did it outside the church, I understand that. I think that's fair game, but to disrupt the church service, I think it's taking it too far. I think President Biden has been on the wrong side of this issue, but I think it was the wrong time for them to shout it out during the middle of a church type of event. So I think that they can take their message, but they can channel it and do it more peacefully and more timely and more appropriate than interrupting a church service. So I think that there's a time and place for everything, but I don't condemn them for protesting. I don't condemn them for speaking truth to power and calling President Biden and the Biden administration out, because I think they're on the wrong side of this issue. But I do think it does hurt them when you have parishioners who are saying, what the hell? What are you doing? Why are you here? You heard the people say 4 more years. So I think it actually didn't help their cause during that particular moment.
And let's really quick, let's talk about the driver who really got ticked off on the bridge in New York City. He's trying to get, do his daily life, his daily duties, deal with his daughter, get home, and you're blocking the traffic. Your thoughts on that?
So I understand that he was upset, and there was a lot of traffic last night. I just took detours. I was on Waze like you wouldn't believe. But I also think that, yeah, it might make some people upset, although I have not seen it personally. We have to remember that
you have to check social media, Representative Jones, because people are pissed off about it in both instances.
Well, so I haven't checked social media because I've been paying my respects to Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson. That the reason that Black people were able to get civil rights is because we did protest. We spoke message. We did the Montgomery Boys boycott. We marched over the Pettus Bridge in Selma, and we disrupted. That's what we did. And so on the one hand, I understand people in 2020 want comfort, But I also believe that we as Black people should understand, if anybody, what it means to protest, to be disruptive, to speak truth to power, and to go up against the people with all the power, because otherwise they're not listening to us. And so what they're doing is they're going to places where they have a captive audience so that they can get people to pay attention to issues that they believe are important. And that is how, I'm going to say it again, that we as Black people want our civil rights, not just for us, but for other people who have been the beneficiaries.
All right, Representative Reynolds, let's take a look at the situation on the bridge in New York and what Representative Jones just said. You know, did we forget how we got, or at least got on the path to civil rights?
No. I think civil unrest and civil disobedience is how we were able to do it. I think Representative Jones is right. I personally think that when you impede traffic, I think you have to be able to suffer whatever kind of ramifications. I mean, this brother was pissed off. If I have a job, if I'm late to my job, I can't justify it by saying, well, the protesters were out there. They could probably gonna be pissed at me, or if I have a doctor's appointment, or if I have to get my kids to school. So I understand the frustration of that brother. I also understand the frustration of the people who are protesting to end the atrocities in Gaza, where people are being murdered, civilian.
Thousands of lives have been lost.
Seniors. So I get it. So it is easy to understand their frustration, their pain, and they're trying to channel that pain to get people's attention. Like they say, it's a captive audience. I just think that sometimes you have to choose wisely. Like, I would go protest at the White House. I wouldn't necessarily protest where I was impeding traffic.
I think that some people don't have money to get to the White House, one, but I can think of an example right here in Houston when Ovi Duncantel, a man known for speaking truth to power and protesting, chained himself to a tree. Right. He chained himself to a tree because he's the one who brought the MLK statue and plaza to the city. And guess what? The city of Houston was uncomfortable, and they were threatening to shoot him, and they had the fire department there if he got shot. But you know what? If you're not willing to die for something, then you'll fall for anything.